Whoa.
Howdy, 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 howdy,
Hello.
howdy, howdy. We told you we might pop up, and we did, and we're here. It is a big, big night for Gator fans tonight. Look,
Wow.
beating South Carolina, it's not like, winning the SEC championship, but what a win tonight by Billy Napier's team, which he said correctly, grew up tonight and came back from a 10-point deficit with 9 to play on the road and won a road game, Brendan. This is significant. Team goes to 5-2 now with 6 games to play, and everything is in front of them. They got a shot here, Brendan. I think that's what Gator fans are excited about. They got a shot.
God, I love college football.
It's the best.
It's the best, isn't it?
It is, yes, it is. And you everybody's got a team, whether you went there or not. And if you're not part of the Gator family, quote unquote, meaning not a Gator fan, you won't get this. You won't quite understand why this is such a big moment. But if you are people like Susan and people like Perry Mason and Buck Wade and all those, they understand the significance of this win to go on the road and win a game where they were trailing. Huge night by Graham Mertz. I have such respect for Graham Mertz. What a baller he turned out to be. A lot of great things happening. Just let people share their thoughts, and everybody's excited about this team now, Brendan. It was beginning to look like it was getting away from them, but guess what? They're back.
They're back. And we're going to be right back with Franz Beard.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Coming out of the woodwork, here's Franz Beard. Francis, I was trying to put into words what it means to the Gators and the Gator family. If you're in the family, so to speak, like we are, it looks one way, and the outsiders will say, well, it's just beating South Carolina. No, it was a whole lot more than that. So many things in that game that happened tonight, reasons to be excited about it. And I think Gator fans are genuinely happy and excited about this game tonight, winning 41-39 on the road, being down by 10 with 9 minutes and watching a performance by Graham Mertz, who was just fantastic, over 400 yards. What a win, friends.
Well, I bet a bunch of guys feel like Nimnals now who have been trashing Mertz since the beginning of the season. I mean, I think only about 2 weeks ago, this guy named Matt Hinton, whoever he is, who they say is the quarterback guru at Saturday Down South, had him ranked the number 11 quarterback in the league. If that's number 11, then, my gosh. I mean, some guys think because they can get on PlayStation and follow a football game that they know the game. And I gotta tell you what, I've been around the game for 50-something years. You have too. You know damn good and well what a good-looking quarterback looks like, and that's a good-looking quarterback. Not to mention the fact, you look at all the shots he takes physically because the offensive line is terrible.
Wow.
And my gosh, what a tough guy. That might be the toughest I've seen a guy since Danny Werfel got clobbered so many times by FSU back in 1996. I hadn't seen a quarterback beaten up quite like that since then.
What a moment to throw the touchdown pass, come off the field, get knocked down, knocked out practically, struggle to get up, go to the sideline, take his helmet off, and go into the stands and cheer. It was a great moment. What a tough kid, man. And when you got a guy like that, you can build a lot around it. And my hat is off to Graham Mertz and for Billy Napier for picking him. A lot of us were wrong. It was a terrific one. I told Brendan, Billy's beginning to invoke Steve Spurrierisms. We laughed about the fact that last week he said his wife asked him why Steve Spurrier said, why don't you throw the ball down the field? Well, he threw it down the field today. He threw one down to Jackson, 52 yards, the longest play of the season. And he even said the game is over. What about that play with Trey Wilson, when he catches a deflection from Ricky Pearsall? And that's when Billy invoked the Steve Spurrier quote, God smiled on the Gators today, France, and he did.
Well, certainly did. And I'm happy for Graham Mertz because I'm there at every press conference, and he's a stand-up guy. He really is. Brendan, you've been to a bunch of the press conferences post-game afterward. Doesn't duck a question. Even last week, said I'm so happy for everything this place does. He says, I love being a Gator. This is a guy that has fully embraced the University of Florida. And by golly, it's time the University of Florida, all of our fans, we need to embrace him. The kid he's not a kid. He's 22 years old. The young man is really, really top shelf in every way. He's smart. He's humble. Always gives credit to his teammates. Happy to be a Gator. Happy with his coaches. And after today, I got to say, I think the coaches are pretty happy with him too. Wouldn't you say?
I would say, and I just remarked to my friend Carswell, we're watching the game, Trace Mack, what a weapon he has become. He was 11 for 11, and he gets his kick blocked. And they had every reason in the world to fold their tents right there. And they didn't. They came back, and I love Alec Peake Wilbur posted this. It's hard to put into words how big of a win this is for this team. It wasn't pretty, but the toughness, grit, and fight in this team is pretty impressive. I'll say you're right about that, Allie. That's very true. So that's something to build on, Brendan, when you that toughness down the stretch.
It was funny because the first thing I said, when they went down, scored the back and forth, got to a point where I was like, if you're going to lose like this, at some point I'm like, you played a lot better, on the road. You've given a lot of fight. The team, kept coming back, but I was like, that's what happens when you get after it early on the road. It keeps you in the fight, right? Keeps you going. And I think that's sort of what Billy focused on when he set out for the week that might have, been the difference maker. But the team seemed to be, after it early when it was obvious. I think that boded well for the rest of the game.
Hey, speaking of, let me interject one thing. I know it's not Florida football, but this is for everybody in the Gator Nation. A great Gator died today. Andy Bean, great Gator golfer, many times All-America. I think all 4 years he was here. Great PGA golfer. Had a double lung transplant and died from the complications of it today.
Yeah, R.I.P. to him. He's a good man. I know him pretty well. And I guess, I didn't know he was that bad off, but he was a great Gator, a great player, and a great man. And we can be proud of him. And condolences to Andy Bean's family. He knew a lot of people on the PGA Tour, including the big guys, Jack Nicklaus, etc. So sad day we lose one of our own like that.
But don't you know he's looking down on the Gators right now with a big old smile.
He's very happy for sure, yes. A lot of comments on Twitter about him today. Rich Lerner from Golf Channel said golf lost to Goodman. Andy Bean passed away at 70. Gentle Giant, Bermuda Gas specialist with 4 of his 11 wins in Florida. Gator legend, man of great faith, generous heart, loved fishing and family. Condolences to his wife, Debbie, their 3 children, and all their grandkids. So it's nicely said about Rich Lerner.
Yeah, well, but sad day to lose a great Gator, but a great day to have a win like this. And
hey, friends, where are they now? They're 5-2, right? They need a half a win to match the whole year. They were projected to do. they got a shot at some games down the stretch now. If their defense could just play a little bit better, which they did in the second half. They couldn't stop anybody in the first half. And so now this team has something to hang their hats on. A week off, play Georgia, hopefully play respectable, have a chance down the stretch some of these final games to make this season one to remember, not just an okay season, but a decent year. And this game, I said on Friday and Thursday, this game holds the key to the rest of the season, because without this win, it looks pretty dark. Now, all of a sudden, it's a different look, Brendan and friends. It looks like now this is got a shot here, right?
Well, here's what I like is now they can go on the road because that's where they're going to be. They're at Georgia. They'll be home.
Well, they're at Jacksonville,
well, that's still at someplace else.
Yeah.
That's not at the Swamp. They're away from home for Georgia. They're away from home for Missouri. They're away from home for Florida State. The only game they're going to be home is Arkansas. So we're 2-5, 5 games to go, 4 roadies and Arkansas. But to get a win like this now, when you got to go play at Missouri, now all of a sudden that game looks more winnable, doesn't it, than it did before? I'm very, very pleased with that they got the confidence now, and not just have the confidence that they can win on the road, but the confidence to come back on the road. There's two ways to look at this. Okay, yeah, you got to win on the road, big deal against South Carolina. Okay, yeah, but it was a come from behind win, a 10 points down in the fourth quarter win.
On the road win.
Huge.
In a very hostile environment. I mean, look, it's huge for, the entire next 2 weeks, right? Good feeling going right in. So it definitely kind of plays into their favor, I think, a little bit more.
Hey, I'm not a numbers guy, but can I just use some numbers here, friends? You're the numbers guy. But today, Graham Mertz, 30 for 48, 423 yards passing.
Good God.
A new high, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Now, Florida's 5-2. Now, looking at the year, he's 170 out of 223, 76% of his passes, all right? And he has 12 touchdowns, 2 picks through 7 games, just 2. So I would say Graham Mertz has exceeded expectations. Wouldn't you, France?
By far. And yeah, some people are right. I did mean LSU, not FSU. We are home for FSU. But, we can win a game on the road now, which, hey, if we could beat Arkansas and FSU at home and then win one on the road, 8 wins. And a couple of folks I know predicted that the Gators might win 8.
Well, Shane Matthews
might even be on this show.
Well, yeah. Well, Shane Matthews has said it and still sticking to it. I talked to him last week. I'm still sticking to 8. And I think the biggest thing is, I would say, I'm not saying that they're going to win the SEC East here or they're going to Atlanta, but they got over a big hump. And when Billy's was sort of grasping at straws, trying to figure out what's wrong. What you got, Brendan?
I'm just asking, end of the day, that's great, but this quarterback can't take any more hits and shots, and how long will he stay healthy?
He keeps taking them. He keeps on getting up, Brendan. That's the key. Yeah. You think Danny Werfel didn't take some shots? He took a lot of shots, and this kid is gutty. And even Billy talked about his quotes today about what courage he had, and he made some nice comments about him after the game. Talking about how courageous he was and what he meant to the team, his leadership, whatever. So, yeah, you like to not take those, but you know what? He was up and over there and raising Cain and cheering. He's a tough kid.
Hey, Vandy played Georgia tough, for like a second, right, today.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the point is a lot of teams have give them a run. They're not they don't look unbeatable, right? Especially after stuff like this. Missouri certainly gets a lot better. This team's really good when they play like this, but the defense has got to tighten it up a little bit. But
there's not a team on their schedule they shouldn't beat, except maybe Georgia. They can beat all the rest of those teams. They're just as good or better. And Shane's told me that a bunch of times. Who are not better? I mean, FSU. Shane thinks they're going to be FSU.
Yeah, but this comeback win, that's the thing. That's like
Huge.
that's the rah-rah,
Yeah,
right? That's
exactly.
like, I mean, come on. That's like what everyone's just
It's what
really
you build,
happy
build
right
your team
now.
around. You build your
Yeah,
team
and
around
that's
that
why I
grit.
said you roll into the bye week, you get 2 weeks of this feeling. I think it's really good for this team. I think this team, sky's the limit if they can put it together. Defensively, the secondary seems to be the struggle with, with Brandon Marshall. But you know, end of the day, it's like there's holes all over this
Jason Marshall.
But there's holes all over a team like this. But they seem to be able to plug it and figure it out and sort of retool. And this was a huge win today.
Well, let's emphasize the positive tonight.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
here's what I want to say to Franz. Franz, you're an astute observer of Florida football. Tell me the 2 or 3 moments in that game that made you a believer, and now makes you think this team has got a shot to have a 8 or 9 win season.
First one will probably surprise you, and that was on the way they started the game.
I love that. That surprised me at all.
Well, it may surprise a lot of people, but to go on the road when they've had so many struggles as they have,
all right.
To go on the road and open it up like that.
Absolutely key.
That I thought was I thought that was the biggest key of the entire game.
Yeah,
because,
I agree.
It's interesting because just before the Gators get the football, they put the graphic up there. It shows what the Gators have done at home. And then they showed what they've done on the road, and they said, well, it's another road game, yada, yada, yada. And the Gators are, get off to bad starts, more and more. And, of course, Matt Stinchcomb is up there doing his best, trying to hide his giggles because he's a Georgia homer all the way. And here they come. They come right out of the box, bang, bang, bang. And it's not just dink and dunk bangs. I mean, they're throwing the ball and they're making plays downfield. And, one of the things I pointed out, and I mentioned it at Billy's press conference last Monday, the dynamic that Arliss Boardingham and Trey Wilson bring to this passing game is unprecedented. People don't realize you got a guy and Trey Wilson can not only go horizontal, he can go vertical, which he showed today. Mm-hmm. And Arliss Boardingham gives you the guy going in the middle, and they throw to Hayden Hansen too. Tight ends in the middle. That's a big play,
field. Mm-hmm.
Big, and I thought that was on that first drive. I thought that was a key moment as well. I thought the next key moment for me was when they come back down from they're down 37 to 27, and they come back
9 minutes to go.
Yeah, there's a false start on a third down. Then they throw incomplete, so it's fourth down. They got forever to go. Fourth and like 15.
Big completion.
And 14-yard play. Arliss Boardingham again. And again, here's his value, that he is a guy that makes that catch and immediately turns into a runner. So many tight ends make that catch and it's like, oh, okay, I'm good for 2 yards. This guy is a legitimate runner after the catch. He turns upfield, looks for a hole, looks for a crease, and goes in and knows where the yard markers are and goes and gets them. I thought that was the next really, really huge play. Then the other turning point play was, without a doubt, that was coming out there, fourth down again, and he finds Ricky Pearsall for 26 yards.
What a throw and catch that was, man.
Oh, and Pearsall, the catch he made over the head in the first half.
Really? Willie Mays.
Holy cow. I look back to last year and I think, how is it that Anthony Richardson only could get the ball to this guy 33 times last year? This guy has got glue for hands. He can make every catch. And talk about a guy that understands how to find holes in a zone. They tried to zone him. They tried to go man for man with him. They tried bracketing him. Everything they did, he had an answer for today in that passing game. And again, I think it comes back to you get Boardingham and Hayden Hansen able to catch the ball in the middle of the field. You get the guy like Wilson who you got to cover the whole field with him, and it just opens things up for Ricky Pearsall. Wow. I think this offense is going to be dynamic the last 5 ball games.
I think the point is that just when Gator fans were wavering and their hope was listing a little bit, and I even said to my friend at the end when they were down by 10 with 9 to go, this is probably going to be it. I don't think they got the firepower to come back.
That's what I thought.
They played so well,
That's what I
and
thought.
all of a sudden the wind's out of them. I thought, well, this is going to do it in. And then he almost went.
That's what I thought.
He almost went for the field goal there. Remember?
Oh my God!
Saying went for the touchdown and got it.
Yeah.
And then things just turned away around, and I got to say that last 10 minutes brought a lot of Gators back to their faith again, friends.
Well, I got to tell you what what a gutsy ball game though by Graham Mertz. I mean, look, all these other guys were great contributors, couldn't have done it without him. But the guy that was the glue that held the whole team together was Graham Mertz, because the defense comes up, finally gets a stop. The defense comes up, and for some, I can't explain the reason. For some reason, I thought when he walked out on the field, there was just a feeling that overwhelmed me, and I don't know about other Gators, that this guy's going to get it done. Last year, you got to remember, how many ball games, 4 ball games was it, that the Gators have the ball on the last possession and couldn't score? And this time, the Gators have the ball, and I felt confident. What a change that is to have a quarterback that comes in there and suddenly you're feeling confident that he's going to get the job done. I don't know about you guys, but I felt confident that he was going to actually
there's
get
a comment.
done.
There's a comment by somebody called Tugs Gaming. Absolutely, Mertz was not losing this game, and it was that resolve I think that he had. There was reason gave us all hope this was going to happen. And if a kid ever deserved it, he did. And so many good things happened. Yeah. Look, we can go on. The defense was like Swiss cheese. Things happen, whatever. But they pulled the game out and won it on the road. Let's not forget that is the most important thing. I know they give up 37 points. You have 39 points actually, although the other one was not the defense; it was their safety. But look, it doesn't matter about all that. What matters is they broke that 0-11 streak on the road. They're playing well. Their guy. The game was in the hands. I told my friend Carswell, Graham Mertz is going to have to win this game. They always say, well, just don't ask you to win the game. Well, guess what? He won the game today. He's capable of doing it. And now you're seeing how lucky you are to have this man on this football team. And they got a shot now. And I'm not going to start making predictions as far as football is going to be competing for a championship. Let's not forget, though, he's back next year. So really proud of what he did. And I think Gator fans really beginning to appreciate him, and kudos to Graham Mertz and his teammates for, I don't know, I would say it's bigger than Tennessee because Tennessee was in the swamp, right? I know Tennessee's a better team, but on the road in that situation, and even we were talking about last week, Shane said, this is the most important game of Billy Napier's career. Well, guess what? He just won the most important game of his career.
Well, not only that, he outcoached the other guy that everybody was, and I'm not taking anything away from Shane Beamer when I say it, because Shane Beamer is a bright young coach. He coached under Spurrier, and Spurrier raves about him. But I got to tell you what, he outcoached the boy wonder. And, I thought this was outstanding. And hats off to both these guys anyway. Sons of coaches who grew up to be really good coaches as well.
And good men, and both good men.
Both of them, exactly. What a ball game. What what a good night, good evening to be a Florida Gator.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is. Yeah, well
it's
said.
been a while with
Mhm.
football. I think that Gators could feel this good about themselves. I mean, even the Tennessee game was nice, but everybody was saying after the Tennessee game, well, Tennessee just didn't bring its A game and let the crowd get to them and all the other stuff like this. Let them say what they want to say. This game right here was the one that I think should, if it doesn't make Gators feel good about each other, about the team and about the future, then my gosh, you need to find another team to be pulling for, because this one's going places.
You're right on that. And there are some negative comments on there. I get it. People are so frustrated, but take the win, take the W, celebrate the moment. Stop worrying about what might be. Today feels good to be a Florida Gator, as Fran says. And if you're a member of the Gator family, as we talked about, like we are, we're not. I know people think we're homers. We try to be somewhat objective, but we know what this means. If you're just an outside tag along fan, you don't get it. But this was a win that can build and make a program. I'm telling you, it could make this program, friends and Brendan, and it might.
Exactly. I mean, who is it that said that the road to success is paved? I think it was Thomas Edison, who once said the road to success is paved with failures. And any way you look at it, I mean, there have been failures since Billy Napier came here, but he's never ever wavered from his belief that if I keep doing things the way I know they need to be done, we'll get there. I mean, he even said so the other day after, at his Monday press conference, said, we're on the right track. We're doing things the way they need to be done. I thought he had a great comment Wednesday night. I asked a question Wednesday night about, what he thought about, the future and everything like this. And he comes back and he said about the transfer portal, about having to re-recruit players. That's what it was. And he said, if they want to go, let them go. Look what we've got here. And we're building something here. I thought that was a telling comment, particularly now when I look back on it. I mean, he's right. He said, hey, I was outside today in Florida and it was 80 degrees and nice. I'm looking there this morning on Big Noon Kickoff, and they're freezing their butts off up in South Bend, Indiana. Man, it doesn't get much better than right here in Gainesville, Florida, in football season.
Brendan, why don't you give us a little rip here on Gator Bait and on subscribing to what we're doing here, and then maybe, friends, you can sort of, for those people just tuning in, just wrap up what you think happened today and how significant it was, and we'll call it a night and go do some writing. We got to get up on Gator Bait here soon tonight. So if you want to do that first, Brendan, go ahead and let it, friends, wrap it.
What do you mean you guys have to write? Who said? Oh yeah.
We have jobs.
You guys better write.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in trouble. All right. What they're talking about, if you want to read Franz and this guy Buddy, they kind of write. I'm actually doing a couple of website things as we speak. Let me get back to it. Yeah, check out gatorbaitmedia.com. We are running a special because winning is winning, and we're winning. So that was a huge win today. So why change the code away? So you can get 20% off when you go to this QR code, which is going to be right. Right over my face. There it goes. Check it out right there. You'll see it in chat. Go click on that. Get 20% off right now. Read Franz, read Buddy. Read a lot of Franz in the morning, which most of us do, and pretty good stuff. Check it out, gatorbaitmedia.com. And of course, always subscribe to this channel with the little button at the bottom there at the lower right of your screen that says YouTube. Click on that and you can subscribe. And that's it. Thank you.
Friends, wrap it up. Tell them what happened today.
Well, the Florida Gators did something they haven't done in a long, long time, which is I'm trying to remember the last double-digit comeback they had. The one that comes to mind is when they fell behind 19-0 at South Carolina back when Todd Ellis was the quarterback back during the Spurrier years. There may have been one since then. It's just that right now in the euphoria of all this other stuff, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not remembering it. I'm sure Rick and the SID staff will have some sort of something about that coming out. But
Or it could be in your article. You never know.
you never know exactly. But a tremendous comeback win, a confidence building win. You hate to use the word statement win. I think it's used too much. But I think in so many ways this is a statement win because it shows A, you can win on the road. B, you're not going to be discouraged when you're down. And C, you got guys that indeed are growing up before our very eyes. Because I'll throw one last thing at you and listen to you guys. For all the beatings that they took defensively, to all of a sudden when they've got to have it, they make plays. Wow. What does that say about this football team? That after getting beat down, run through the mud, dragged, run over by a semi truck and all the other stuff like that, when it came down to time to make plays, they made plays. And what a gutsy call by Austin Armstrong on a third down, knowing that Spencer Rattler has been hitting people all over the place. He brought the house. I think he rushed 8 and he had 3 covering 4 in the secondary. I mean, I think that's how wild it was. But what a call! What a call! I'm happy for Austin Armstrong too.
Yeah.
You watch him on the sideline. He's just happier than a clam that they get it when they needed to. So, guys, what a good day to be a Gator.
Yeah, great. Well said. And don't forget, please support our sponsors, Meldon Law. Of course, you know about them. They've been with us a long time. Renstar Medical Research and our friends at, I got the spot right here. Hold on a second. Our friends at Titan MRI, worth a short drive to Gainesville. No insurance, no problem. Pay with cash or card. Check them out. Titan MRI. Thanks for their sponsorship all week. And there you go, right there. Thank you. And hey, guys, great job. A little pop-up action there. Now go back to the drawing boards, fans. Grind that column out so people can read tonight the great fan experience comments.
Yeah, what are you writing about? Do you even know, Franz?
A football game. I think they played today.
Golf?
Last I checked, they played football. No, I'll give you a hint. I said, this was, if you thought you were dreaming, and it was 2022 all over again. The fourth quarter came along, and along came Graham Mertz to pinch us, and realize that there is a new reality here, and that is the Gators can win.
Graham Mertz, the toast of the town in Gainesville, Florida, and all points south. Thank you, guys. Great job, Franz. Thank you for interrupting your work, Brendan. Well done. And we'll see you on Monday night.
What are you going to write about, big boy?
I'm thinking right now. I'm going to think about the context of this win, how this sets up the second half of the season for Florida. This is a pivotal win they needed to get where they're going to go in the second half. They're 5-2. What they say they're supposed to win? Vegas said 5.5 wins. Guess what? I think they're going to make it.
Well, and Stuart Mandel, picked picked the Gators to be 3-9, 1-7 in the SEC. Well, we've won 2. We've already won two more now than Stewie picked. And by the way, we've won 2 more SEC games than he picked as well. So, hey, Stu, get your head out of the Big Ten and the Pac-12 long enough to understand good things are going on here.
Franz, you mean there's a chance?
There's a real chance.
All right, guys.
I can see 7 wins. I think 8's possible,
Maybe
but I
8.
can see 7.
Maybe 8. Looking good. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks, Brendan. Good job. Friends, have a good night. Go hit the computer and get that column done. Me too. See ya.
See you. Always make it go. Good night, guys. I promise.
Good night,
All right,
Brendan.
Dad. 1, 2. Oh, yeah. We've done on the other ones, right? I guess it's not a real one. All right. Good night. Go
Good
Gators.
night. All right, thanks.